All right.
Testing, testicles.
So check them twice and turn your head and cough.
Check your balls, forget your head.
Chill out.
So welcome, the real life Peter Griffin and Lois.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We love having you guys here. Well, we've already done our session before, but I enjoy having company here with you, and hopefully we can get some more of the people around here to ask you a few questions even. But other than that, how's your Sunday been so far?
It's good. Tired. Definitely feeling the after effects of staying up late and having a good time at the after party. And in these conventions, it's always an adventure, and get to experience new places and the local cuisine. And Joe has been good enough to take us for barbecue 2 nights in a row. But I was promised tacos today, damn it, and I'm not leaving Texas until I get some real tacos.
Being at a convention is better than being in church, so I had a great time.
Well, there you go, everybody. So along with your Sunday being great and everything, you've done quite a bit of interactiveness over here at RGVC.
Yeah, a lot of the businesses had me do little shout-out videos for their storefronts and stuff, so I keep an eye out for all those. And it's all different, so I have one where I did like the fall with the and then I have another one that I did surfing birds. So I like to shake it up a little bit. Everybody got their preferences.
I like it when he shakes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Peter.
Lois.
So you've been doing a lot of interactive and everything. Even besides that, like you said, you've been waiting for some tacos to.
Yes. I'm a big fan of the tacos.
Raining tacos.
Just not the bell, because that goes through me like light through a window. I can't.
From out of the sky, tacos. No need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum. See, now I got you with the taco
songs. Look at that. Lois got bars.
Lois got bars, everybody.
She is a musician, right?
So Lois, you've been enjoying yourself here and everything like that. We've even had our own personal conversation, just hanging out as well. I mean, seeing everything going on, like you said, I mean, you've been fairly into cons and stuff like that. How much more do you plan on giving us of Lois?
I give a lot of Lois out there on the internet, to be completely honest. You can get as much Lois as you can on the internet. But no, it's been a really great time being here at the convention and watching all the young entrepreneurs like yourself, starting up and doing their own thing, making it their own thing, and living their best cartoon lifestyles. It's been really inspiring to see everyone's art.
And that's so great, and that's another reason why we enjoy having you guys here and love it. We've fairly been blessed with your presence on here. Anybody in the audience have a question that they would love to ask the real life Lois and Peter? Anybody? Anybody? I knew I had someone.
Oh yeah.
Come on up here for the mic, please.
Let me come up here.
I love your hair.
Oh, appreciate it. I did it.
He just got it done. He just got it done
right now. Yeah. So, how do y'all make it work? Season in, season out. The love's always there.
Fox.
There you go.
Oh, you mean love? Oh,
love.
No, I'm a Pewter Schmidt. I married for love, not for money. But the comedy is really what makes it. Yeah. If you can laugh it off, because life is terrible and awesome at the same time, and if you can shed a little laughter on it goes a long way.
It does, and I think times seem bleak and everybody's divided and stuff, but comedy brings everybody together, and as Lois likes to say, comedy is the lube of truth. So sometimes you're able to get a meaningful message across with comedy, and we try to do our best to really deliver on the characters and stay true to them and make people happy. And that's why we travel around and wear these costumes and embody these characters, because they're fun. It's just plain fun to be Peter Griffin.
And especially this is an anime convention, and most anime characters are like 16-year-old Japanese schoolgirls. And let me tell you, I'm in my 30s, and it's much better to play like a middle-aged mother than it is a Japanese 16-year-old schoolgirl, I'll tell you what.
I didn't even have to get thin for the role, that's the best part.
Well, that's great. And even with everything, I mean, what more do you have planned for later on? I know you guys do your skits, you grind your gears and stuff like that. Is there anything else you're planning on adding to your channels or stuff?
Well, we recently started. Well, I'm gonna go back to my voice. Hi, my name is Mandy Kitana. I'm the real life Lois Griffin on the internet. This is my regular voice. So, what we were saying at the last interview is that I was working really hard to be original and to do my own thing, and I still stick to that. But it was really hard on myself, and I realized that just by doing the acting roles exactly the way they are, or at least trying to get to that level, it made it a little more relaxing. And not only that, it also provided me a challenge to be a real actor, as opposed to playing roles like gangsters and thugs and hoes. If you have to play an elegant person, it would actually take acting. So to actually play the Lois character and commit to the voice and the actual acting of portraying somebody else, it was quite the different change in direction in where we were going. And we're going to be continuing to do a lot more of those skits. Tell them about the last one we did.
Oh yeah, so we had the skit with Lois, and what was the skit again?
It was the one where I'm trying to entice Joe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, with the hose, and then and then all of a sudden Joe didn't need the pump anymore to have fun with fun.
He's the one with no legs.
She was saving their marriage with a little spice and razzle dazzle. But this is my real voice for those who haven't heard it. I'm Rob Franzese, otherwise known as the real life Peter Griffin. And I guess this started off as just a hobby with my friends, and like I've said before, it really took on a life of its own, and people ate it up immediately, and it's something as simple as a little while you're walking down the hallway, and you can see just how many people light up with that, and that was really what attracted me to continue to keep doing it, and to spread that happiness around. But my ultimate goal, and it's been for a few years now, and it's still my goal, to become a voice actor in animation, and to not only just anime, but even American cartoons, really anything.
You do Roger Rabbit.
Please, Eddie!
You Elmer Fudd.
Be very, very quiet. I'm like the rabbit. I do a lot of voices.
He does at least 70 cartoon voices, and I think he's way more than a one-show pony, and I'm very impressed by his vocal talents.
Thank you, Lois.
I love you, Peter.
I love you too, Lois. But yeah, no, I've been doing cartoon voices since I was a little kid, ever since, I was 3, 4 years old, just sitting there going, yeah, what's up, Doc? I mean, maybe it didn't sound exactly like Bugs Bunny back then, but the want and need to be a cartoon has been with me as long as I can remember. And when I, grew up and I found out that cartoons were brought to life by real people, I knew that that's something that I wanted to do. And when the whole Peter Griffin thing happened, that was kind of like my window into that world. I was like, you know what? I can just dress up like a character, or I can bring this character to life. And I kind of did that, and I came out of my shell at New York Comic Con in 2012. And it changed my life forever.
And to piggyback on the cartoon thing, I grew up in a really hard situation in foster care and in the system and things like that. But I only had one thing that Mandy got to have, and that was Saturday morning cartoons. Out of all the things, I never got the toys, I never got anything, but my one thing I got to have was Saturday morning cartoons. And cartoons saved me. It was my way to escape, and I've always loved cartoons, especially now as an adult. I now enjoy adult cartoons, which Family Guy is very much an adult cartoon. Contrary to everyone's belief that...
He's Suey's age, you probably shouldn't be watching it.
Exactly. But like he said, it saved me, and I started pursuing animation because I also work as an artist, but I realized I was spending a lot of time on my own, and when I started cosplaying, I was like, oh, I can actually be a cartoon. And that just cascaded into everything that we've been doing, or I've been doing now.
Amazing. Especially from the 4 backgrounds that you have. I mean, the good thing is you found light between both sides, Peter and Lois. The fact that you wanted to finally do the character. You finally wanted to get out of your shell a little bit. You did it a little slightly, and the people loved it. And
it's funny that we can come from completely different backgrounds, and it still brought us to the same place.
Too much, too little.
We both had like descriptions on our Facebook pages that were real life cartoons, and that kind of sparked the conversation between us. And then turned out that she didn't live too far from me, and we collaborated, and we've been doing it for 5.5 years.
Oh yeah, we met on a cartoon shitposting website actually, and I was going to do my first Lois, because I had orange hair at the time, and I invited him over to the photo shoot, but he was unable to make it. I was living in Harlem, he's in Long Island, and then like the next month, I was living like 15 minutes down the road from him, and I was like, what? So, and we've just been rolling out video and content since.
That's amazing,
He's
especially
been doing this for 10 years, and I've been doing this for about 5.
October will make 11 years. Like I said, October 2012 was the very first time.
Well, we might not see
but it
you
wasn't
in
like I was going into it that long as a career path, you know?
Yeah.
I went viral the very first time. I was at a 4th of July barbecue in 2013, and somebody said that I was on the front page of Reddit, and I was like, oh shit, that's kind of funny, and I thought that like my 15 minutes of fame was over after Comic-Con had ended. And you got to figure, this is from October to July, so this was a decent amount of time since I had heard anything. So prompted because of that, I started bringing the Peter Griffin costume to other conventions. Because I started branching out. I started doing Sergeant Slaughter from G.I. Joe and wrestling fame, and I was doing other costumes, but the Peter Griffin thing was always like my home base because it was a comfortable costume, which is really what was the birth of the costume in the first place. I needed something comfortable to walk around.
Sometimes he doesn't even put on the pants when he does the, what are they called?
The cameos. I don't have to wear
It's
pants
so
when
bad. I
I
have
do
to put on a
cameos.
weave,
You can't make me wear pants when I do cameos, Chloe.
I mean, down with pants for sure.
They don't
but-
pay extra for the pants.
My goodness, he just pops on the glasses. I have to put on a wig cap, eyeliner, contour, eyelashes, contacts, lipstick.
No, I just
And he's
put on round
like,
glasses and complain.
yeah.
There's not even lenses in these glasses. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I mean, the fact that I've shot almost 4,000 cameos since June of 2019, and all the conventions and the appearances, and it caught wildfire back in 2015 because my friends ended up deciding to follow me around with a camera at New York Comic Con 2014 and kind of do like a mini documentary about me and what I do and why I do it. And that just resonated with a lot of people. And to this day, people will come up to me and say, I got into cosplay because of the words that you said, like how it was like almost like therapeutic for somebody that doesn't think highly of themselves and doesn't really put themselves out there to take that risk and to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and enjoy the experience for what it is. And I'm still riding that high.
I mean, I would much rather be Lois Griffin than Mandy Kitana, because at least she's a Peter Schmidt, you know what I mean?
Hey, and Peter's married.
Well, the great thing is like we said, you guys were able to crush it, come out of your comfort zones.
I crush anything I sit on.
So now, as for the people behind the character and everything like that, what do you find is your ideal great day off? From the character, from doing production, to doing
Doing
anything?
nothing and spending time with my Hitachi. Good vibes only.
How about yourself?
Again, this is an adult show.
It's all about video games, and it's fun because I have a lot of like friends that also are passionate video gamers and stuff. So sometimes we'll hop in parties, and most recently we've been hopping on Sea of Thieves. I don't know if anybody plays Sea of Thieves. It's a
Sea of Thieves, yes.
It's a pirate game, and it's Xbox exclusive. But I have a PC, so you're able to play the Xbox Pass on there. So we've been killing it on Sea of Thieves, but I think I'm going to lose all my Sea of Thieves friends to Starfield because there's a new Bethesda game based in space. And
do you sing
I have a podcast that I do every Friday Night Live on YouTube. My friend's called The Break Room, and I have been on record multiple times to say that I pardon my French, I fucking hate Bethesda. I hate Bethesda games. They're buggy, they're too open world. My ADHD ass can't get through the game. I need a little bit more hand holding in a video game than they give you for Bethesda. It's like, they don't tell you where the hell to go. They don't tell you like, oh, you killed this wizard and now the town permanently hates you and you can't complete the quest. Or like, this bug happened and now you have to undo like 3 hours of gameplay because you forgot to save. Like, that kind of stuff really grinds my gears, to be completely honest.
Well, glad you haven't played Elden Ring then, because...
No Elden Ring for me. No, only new rings. Or the one ring for me, that's it.
Do we have another question from the audience? Anybody else want to ask something, you little man? Sounds good.
All right, come up here, Tanjiro. What's your name?
Angel.
Hi, Angel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Will you guys have any kids in the past?
In the past? Absolutely. In the past would be great.
Then we don't have to raise them because it's the past. So raising them would be in the past.
Kids
So
are
we can pass that.
expensive, so I have a dog.
Well, we got little Joey here. He's a handsome little boy. He's a 13-year-old, 5-pound teacup Yorkie. And he has his own Instagram page. So if you think he's the most adorable thing on the planet like we do, give him a follow, Joey Kitana at Instagram, all the socials and stuff. But he's got more followers than most of my friends, which is hilarious.
He blocked me.
He's a little attention whore. He loves the pets and the attention and the little outfits. He doesn't mind. He definitely loves his little Batman toy. That's his favorite. But he's a great little companion because he's like having a pet on easy mode. He's just good as gold, and he just sits there and exists, and that's what we need him to do with these companions.
I'm just so happy he can't talk, because if he could write a tell-all, I'd be ruined. I'm telling you.
And he has a black belt in cuddling. He's an amazing cuddler. Gets in the little nooks and crannies and he snuggles up.
Now I gotta get into what you enjoy eating. Is favorite eatery, somewhere you like to go,
Hot
or
food.
just
Sushi, fried chicken, and tacos. If you can't find those things, where the heck are we?
Well, my top 3 foods would probably be pizza, bacon cheeseburgers, and ramen.
And specific on the burger. Bacon.
Very specific. It's bacon cheeseburgers. You know, if it's missing one or the other, it just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel complete.
You know, if I'm not combining the cow and the pig, it's just not good enough. I need to eat the whole, whole
And you
McDonald's
need the moo
bar.
and the oink at the same time.
Your meat food groups.
Oh yeah. Well-rounded meal.
I would like to eat a pterodactyl someday.
Ah,
A
man.
deep
What a
fried.
brontosaurus burger. I've said
Right?
that before, or even the big-ass ribs that tipped over the
Flintstones.
Flintstones
Yeah.
bar.
Well, technically, we've all eaten a pterodactyl because
Sorry, now you got us
there's chicken.
hungry.
There are certain foods that come from shows, they just look too good. Like any food from a Studio Ghibli movie, that freaking pizza
Amazing.
from Goofy movie, like
Yes,
with
when the
the
cheese stretches.
Come on, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna find that?
There's actually this YouTube series, I sadly can't remember the name, but they actually recreate those cartoon foods. So if you can possibly find out, I'm sure.
We're doing a collaboration, Lois.
I'm sure the phones and the algorithm are hearing me, so it'll eventually pop up in like a day or two for you.
To the list.
So, great careers. I mean, you guys really go full force into it and enjoy it thoroughly. Before you did all this, what were day jobs? What were anything odd jobs that you have done before?
Before I got the Peter Griffin gig, I was just working, at a credit union for a while, and that's actually how the Peter Griffin thing was born in a roundabout way. There was a few people that I used to work at that credit union with that formed this like geek blog that we were writing articles for, and we ended up getting passes for New York Comic Con for that year. So this way we'd have stuff to like report on and write about for the blog. There were a lot of people involved in it, so there were a lot of clashing personalities. And long story short, before New York Comic Con, the blog had folded, and we had all these tickets, but we had nothing, like to go in for. So we decided to just have fun with it. We were like, oh, let's go as a group for the friends that stayed together. And we ended up dressing like Marvel superheroes. My buddy was the Punisher, his girlfriend was Black Widow, one friend didn't want to dress up, so he copped out and said he was Peter Parker. And then I, happened to be the extra person in the party, dressed like Western Ghost Rider, and ended up getting heat stroke at the show. And
If you can't handle the heat of a wig.
yeah, it was terrible.
Big surprise.
It was a mask that was so tight, it was pushing my eyelashes into my eyes. So I had to wear these little glasses that looked like Elton John glasses, just to keep it out of my eyes. I had a wig on top of that, a cowboy hat on top of that. I had an undershirt, button-down shirt, neckerchief, rawhide duster, full black jeans, black steel-toe boots, and the only part of my skin that was exposed were my fingertips, because I had like the workout gloves with the fingerless gloves, and I was like roasting in that thing. Like I didn't know if I was gonna make it to Comic-Con the next day. And that goes back to taking that chance. I was like, I love taking pictures of people that day. It was a very new experience for me, being popular and people wanting to be around me. So I decided, let's try this again, but with something a little more feasible. And I had round glasses from when I used to dress like Santa Claus for the credit union that I worked at. So that was part of that costume. I had green pants for like the St. Patrick's Day, celebrations. And everybody has a white button-down shirt, so I threw the three things together. And I was actually self-conscious going to New York Comic-Con. I didn't think people were gonna know who I was. So on the pass, I actually took a piece of masking tape and I wrote Peter Griffin on it. I was like, great, they're gonna think I'm a fat John Lennon. But I started doing the show, the voice of the show. I remember the specific moment that Peter Griffin was born, or real life Peter Griffin anyway. There was a ATM in the Artist Alley part of New York Comic-Con, and I was spending money hand over fist on like action figures and statues. It was terrible. And something in my mind just clicked. And when the money came out of the ATM, I was like, oh my God, I won! And everybody within earshot just turned around in unison like, holy shit, that's Peter Griffin. And then from like that moment on, people were just following me and taking videos. And it was one of the videos that somebody had taken of me that day that ended up on Reddit, and why I keep doing this.
Right, so that was one of your big highlights.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's like kind of like a crazy story how I was just going to Comic-Con with a bunch of people I used to work with and, had fun. And it turned into like, you never know. And that's why I always tell people, if you're willing to take the risk, then your life can change. And you never know how it can.
How about you, Lois? Odd jobs or?
So what did I do before this? My regular normal job?
Yes.
So like I said, I grew up poor. So I did the way to get honor in this country. I joined the military. I was a 42 Alpha Human Resource Specialist with Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations. I left as a sergeant. I realized quickly that the Army did not appreciate comedians. Yeah, I think I still owe them some push-ups, but one day I got out. I had been previously married. Sorry, Peter.
I was better though.
And when those two things came to an end, I actually just sat and asked myself, what does Mandy want? And that's something I actually didn't ask myself. And the first thought that came to my head was live from New York. It's Saturday night, and I sold my motorcycle and I moved to New York. So yeah, I was always a worker. I worked at the post office. I worked in hospitality a lot because I'm really good at that. And then the military, and then I just started pursuing my nightmare of a dream in New York City. So, and it's been 13 years since I've been doing that.
And that's amazing, especially to keep it going and pushing, and especially I'm sure there was heartaches and downfalls.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but I'm doing this out of spite at this point. I'm gonna succeed, and I'm gonna make them all eat my joy. Sorry, what was this question?
Yeah. Does anybody else in the audience feel like asking another question? Let's do it.
Hi, handsome. What's your name?
Javi,
Hi, Javi.
nice to meet you guys. I had a kind of a two-part question.
Great.
Let's do it. What do you think, or personally, your opinion, do you prefer American animation or Japanese animation? And whichever you prefer, what are your top three?
Okay, so I like American animation because we are raunchy people. I don't think that, like, have you guys seen the new, what's it called, Human Resources?
Yes.
We are just a diabolical American, we are that Human Resources and those kind of shows, and Family Guy, just sick and twisted and gross and gnarly and dishonor. And then I like anime for the honor and the work hard and the never give up. So I like them both in different ways. And the animation style is superior in Japanese animation, though the comedy hits more home for American animation. So my answer would be both, equally, in different reasons.
I agree, because I think it's a cultural thing too. Like, I don't think some of the humor is lost on an American audience when they translate it, because there's like maybe like some cultural references and stuff that we wouldn't so much get here, because it's America where they don't teach us anything about the world. It's about the fake America that they're trying to push.
I just found out I'm a woman.
But I have a love for both. Samurai Jack, Batman the Animated Series, of course Family Guy. That's some of like the best that America has to offer. But then, as far as like anime, I'm a huge weeb when it comes to anime, and that's within the last, I want to say like 7, maybe 8 years now. I really went ham. I mean, I started with Toonami and Dragon Ball Z back in the day, and I always loved Dragon Ball Z, and that's still to this day now my second favorite anime. It used to be my first. Number 1 would be One Piece for me. Number 2 would be Dragon Ball Z. Number 3 is Demon Slayer.
And do you have a top 3?
Oh, top 3. Okay, I guess right now I really like Chainsaw Man because of the poor thing and the dog. Demon Slayer is absolutely amazing. And I would say Dragon Ball, but I only like Vegeta from there because he's my man. My other man, sorry.
The Prince of All Saiyans.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Do we have anybody else that would like to ask a question? Anything else you have for them? Would like to?
Chris, right there in the second row. Hi, what's your name?
Alex,
All right, nice to meet you.
I would like to ask, what happened to Brian?
To Brian.
Well, Brian's kind of doing the fusion dance with Stewie over here for the convention.
He's a homunculus. Is that what they call him?
Well, the homunculus is the bad guys, like Lust and all that.
Yeah, but they're fused with something else.
Is that what it is? I haven't watched that in a long time.
That's the medical term for
It's the most expensive anime. It costs an arm and a leg and a little brother.
Thank you for your question.
Thoughts on Meg? Go. Go, Peter.
What about Meg?
Exactly, what about it?
Shut up, Meg. We don't invoke the name of the devil
I
here.
know they need to bring back abortion rights so we can like unbirth her. Just put her back up in there and uncreate her. Poof.
The unbirthed.
I'll be unbirth.
So,
Fatality.
Lovely.
so being big fans of Family Guy, American cartoons, I'm sure you've even watched American Dad and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Raja.
Enjoying the dark, raunchy humor that came to be. Through that all, everything, how much more do you want to get involved with those? Do we see maybe you trying to do a character from American Dad later, or?
I mean, Roger is just a more flamboyant Peter. When you really think about it, it's just Roger being Peter.
And Roger just has more costume changes. I love Roger. He's just fabulous. Oh yeah, he's a bad bitch.
Such a diva.
Like I said, I would love to voice any on any show. Really, I'll take anything. Just hire me, please.
Just call me.
And I will say I have a tremendous amount of respect, and not just because I'm at an anime convention, but for the voice actors that specifically voice anime characters, because you have to realize when you're doing a show in America, you record your lines and then somebody animates the character to your lines. But with these Japanese cartoons, or even there's cartoons made around the world, when you're providing a voice for that character, you have to try to match the tempo, the energy of the character. Literally, the mouthing of the words have to be timed in such a tempo, and to make it look like it makes sense. And I was talking to one of the voice actors that plays Shenron, the OG Shenron, and he was telling me that back in the day when they first started doing this stuff, they didn't have any audio cues or like beeps to go along with. You just kind of read it and did it. And that's why I always have like a tremendous amount of respect for them, because it's very thankless work when you really think about it. Because everybody knows Shenron, but nobody knows who's bringing Shenron to life for these audiences. And they're certainly not paid like a Hollywood actor.
And not for nothing, a lot of these, the voice actors, which I recently found out by going to a lot of these conventions, because I'm the worst with celebrities. Like, I've literally had my picture with Joey sent to Alex Borstein, the actual voice of Lois Griffin. And I'm like, yeah, sure, sent another guy taking a picture of me to send to Alex. But like, not realizing it was in Alex Borstein's phone, it got sent from Phil Lamar to her phone. But these celebrities, like some of them don't even watch the content that they're making. So like, even though we're passionate about like what happened in the story and we're connected with it on an emotional level, some of these actors haven't even seen the show. In fact, I just started watching more of Lois just to like, get my voice down and like, really commit to it and go back to it. I watched Family Guy, but not as much as you would think, as people think. So it was a big wow, aha moment by working these conventions to find out.
Well, so far, from what you've been watching from Family Guy and everything, do you have a famous, like a favorite part or a part that you just...
Just anytime she abuses PETA, or like when she forgets a celebrity or she does something off the wall, or the fact that she's done an adult video and I've not done an adult video. She's a wild character.
And she's modeled.
And she's America's mother. Yeah.
Exactly.
People always ask me what's my favorites, like Family Guy episodes and stuff. Hands down, the Star Wars episodes, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've been a Star Wars fan longer than I have teeth. And if you're a fan of Star Wars at the level that I am, and you know like the musical cues of the movies and the scenes and the transitions, it's really like as much as a parody as a love letter to Star Wars, because it really is like a true homage to the movies and the references. I mean, all the way down to them naming it Blue Harvest. But I always felt that it was a little out of order, because Blue Harvest was actually the working title of Return of the Jedi while they were filming, to throw people off and not say, oh, I'm going to storm into the Return of the Jedi.
How are you going to say that about Star Wars? Didn't the first one start with the last one, and then the first one, and then the second one, and then it was out of order?
Yoda did the numbering for those movies.
All those titles are for the previous.
It was out of order? Star Wars? What?
There's a lot of wars in the stars. What do you want from me? Space is infinite. You got to start somewhere.
So, being that you've fully blown up to what you want to be as of, and I wouldn't say fully, unless you're still driving for specific things. You wanted to be even more into voice acting and all that stuff. You producing more.
I would like to have my own cartoon.
You see, and stuff like that. I mean, through that all, the years of experience from your life and everything, do you have any last words, inspirational things, and quotes you want to send us all off with?
When you poop in your dreams, you poop for real.
Say, whatever it is that you enjoy, do it. I mean, and anybody that doesn't like what you're doing is just jealous of your freedom, your authenticity, and your bravery for stepping out and doing something that's off the norm. And a lot of people just want to shut that down because they want to stay stuck in their hate, and show them with just your pure joy, and just keep on fighting because you're pure, you're true to yourself. And I've known that to be true to me. Like, just doing the art that you enjoy, and you'll never go wrong.
Yeah, don't be afraid to be yourself, and don't dull your shine.
Even if you're somebody else, all right?
100%.
Thank you so much.
How much, anything you want to send us off with, Elsa, again?
You want to do the song?
Song?
Let's do the song one more time.
Let's do the song.
You start us off, Lois.
All right, you ready? Well, it seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a Family Guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's a Family Guy.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. The real life Peter and Lois Griffin. Give it up.
Thank you. me now. Oh, you guys ready to do the joke? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I need you.
yes.
I need you to. Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, this is gonna be so fun.
Let's go.
All right, we need at least 2 more, right? What? How many is in the thing? 5. Yeah, so we need 2 more guys.
Oh, hey, you guys?
Oh, yeah.
There's only one.
Oh, there's only one. That's fine, you can do that too. It's basically the officer. But he can do it. All right, cool. So let's get the girl. But she wanted me in it too. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, that's fine. But can you go call her in? Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. So I want to do this joke. And then you guys stand behind him, and then you just sit on the thing. This is going to be hilarious. Oh my god, thanks. Yeah, go on stage. Go on stage. And then Robert will sit down.